Hey there, welcome to What You Up To Now, day 1096. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here with a funky blue-eyed filter on, blue eyes that sparkle. I feel kind of like a vampire. Not really. I like to try the different filters on this particular journey journal segment, business journal segment, because I can do what I want. It's just my place to kind of riff and talk about whatever subjects are on my mind, what's working, what's not working, as I transition from the brick and mortar world of business and corporate America to the online world of business. And it has been a pretty long journey, actually. I left, did a quarter century in corporate America while having different businesses and entities on the side. And after I left corporate America, 2003, 2004, I think it was actually right around the holidays in 2003. And then I bought my sister out of the Italian food manufacturing business in early 2004, but I jumped right into that business because I'd always been doing it on the side with her. So, and then I bought her out, and my ex-husband and I were going to run it and build it. And that lasted about a month, and he wasn't that interested in it. So he ended up doing a bunch of things, and we got involved in a whole lot of businesses. And he wanted to do real estate. So that meant I had to become a licensed real estate agent and a broker and a negotiator and a short sale and a loss mitigator expert and loan modification expert and all these things back in the early 2000s and the crash of 2008, 2009, all of that, which was boom time for us. Remember, whenever one area is struggling, there's other areas and other businesses and industries in the same time that are booming, because we live in this dual universe where pluses and minuses balance one another off, good and evil balances one another off. At least that's what I like to believe. So in 2013, then, after running several different businesses, in 2010, I had a sudden cardiac arrest. And that definitely put a dent in what I was doing, because I was really super busy at the time that happened. And fortunately for me, I had learned to put systems and processes and other people in place so that when I was down, literally in a coma, and probably, gonna die, but didn't, of course, everything kept going and kept running smoothly. My son was able to step into the food business, and other people were able to handle the other things that I had going on. And family stepped in to help with my daughter and things. And my ex-husband wasn't my ex back then, but he helped with my daughter and things too. So crazy time. But after that, divorce followed, and I had the opportunity to decide, what do I want to do? What do I really want to do? And a bunch of other stuff happens, because that's how life is. A bunch of other stuff happened in that time period. But in 2017, after we divested ourselves of all of our joint assets, I did have the chance to say, okay, what do I want to do now? I was 57 years old. My kids were grown, and I was like, all right, I've always been curious about the online world and the internet. I dabbled in a couple of little things and learned a few things along the way, but it had never been the jump into the online digital world that I had, kind of wanted to do back in early 2000s when I left corporate America. Other things took precedence, and we got involved in a whole lot of other brick and mortar type businesses and real world businesses, and the internet just had to wait. And so in 2017, when I had the opportunity to say, okay, I'm too old to want to go back to corporate America. I don't have a strong urge to start any specific physical type of business. What do I want to do? And I decided I would jump online and see what I could do there. My original plan, and still is, I guess, was to duplicate my offline business success and acumen in the online world. I would say I'm not there yet, definitely not there yet. And here we are, 1,096 days into my journey, and it's really longer than that. It's probably almost a year longer than that, because it took me that long to get over my fear of wanting to hop online and talk and do online videos. But as the world has a way of pushing us into things that we think we're afraid of, but we really can do, my vision tanked. I've been blind in my left eye since the 80s, early 1980s. And my right eye, following my sudden cardiac arrest in 2011, started to deteriorate and take the same path that my left eye was. So I had some surgery, and that helped for a little while, but then I'm to the point now where it's continuing to deteriorate, and it's past the point of being legally blind, and it will probably continue to deteriorate. And as it does, I will continue to find tools and strategies and things that work for me. And one of those strategies was, okay, I'm not going to be able to document and write. And I've always been one of these people that has literally hundreds of notebooks around me, dozens of them for sure. And I still write things down, but it's a pain to read them. I can't really read them, but I write them down because the act of writing reinforces the things that I want to remember for me. So I'll still write even if no one can read it, which mostly nobody can, but I still do it anyway, because it helps to reinforce learning for me. So since I couldn't do that, I had to say, okay, forget about being afraid to do video, just do it. And by doing it, I don't know, I've done at least 4,000 videos at this point in the last, 18, 19, 20, and we're into 21. So in the last 3+ years, I've done, 4,000 plus videos. And that means, almost 4,000 podcasts as well, because I take my videos that I do for creating content and I strip the sound out of them and I put them up on my Pajama Grandma podcast. You might ask, why are you surrounded by teddy bears? And you're not in pajamas. Nope, not in pajamas. I kind of stopped doing the Pajama Grandma thing in last year during COVID in 2020. I started doing it as, because it is me, it's a part of me, just like we show up as part of us in all the different roles that we play as human beings, right? We're sisters, we're sons or daughters, we're mothers, we're not to use any of these terms according to Congress now, but that doesn't make any sense to me. If you're a mom, you're a mom. If you've got kids, you're a mom. If you're a dad, you're a dad. If they're terms that we use and pronouns we use to let people know a little bit more about us. And so I think this political correctness and actually dumbing down of America is totally unacceptable. Instead of getting closer together and better at communicating, we're actually creating barriers and separating people. And it's just plain wrong. I don't care what your political beliefs are. It's wrong to pit human beings against each other. We're all connected and we need to behave that way. And we need to remember that if I hurt someone else, I hurt everyone else. If I hurt myself, I hurt everyone else. And I don't know how we're getting away from that. And it's, especially just for political gain and greed, that's got to stop. So look I get all choked up when I talk about it. So that's part of why I do videos. So today our videos and I do videos so I can communicate with my people. I've got a business group, Supersize Your Business Group, and every day, and I started to do it as part of my move. Again, I start doing things and I create things that solve a problem for me, and then I end up finding, oh, I really like doing that. It's really interesting. And not only did it solve this problem for me, but it also benefits me in these ways. And so then if it benefits me and it's moving me toward what I want, then I keep doing it. This is what happened with the Supersize Your Business idiom things. I started to do a daily idiom so I could continue to communicate and find business ties and what things mean for my audience. And as I did it originally as part of my move, when I was moving out of I know we've been divorced for a while. I continued to live in our family home for, 9 years, a long time. And then finally we needed to sell that. And so in late 2019, I moved out so that we could remodel that house and sell that, which we did. And fortunately, I didn't benefit in any way, but it was nice to pass it on to a nice family and make it beautiful again. It was a beautiful home. But as part of that, I needed to figure out what was I going to do every day that would be easy to create content and wouldn't take a ton of time and energy and thought. And so I thought, I've always been interested in words. And so I thought doing a word of the day, and I'm like, it's kind of boring. Tons of people do that, and it's not that special. So I thought, well, I'll do an idiom of the day, because idioms are kind of tricky. They're a collection of words that don't always mean the same thing when they're taken together as they do when they're taken individually, the individual words. All good things must come to an end was today's idiom, which pretty much means, hey, good things are going to stop. Good things are going to end. Things are going to end. Everything's going to end, right? That one pretty much means what it says. But a lot of idioms don't have anything to do with the words that are put together in the sentence. And so I wanted to explore some more of those. And so I think today was once I started counting, again, I don't start counting things right off the bat. I just did it for a while, not knowing I was going to continue to do it. But then as I was doing it for a while, I'm like, all right, I need to have a way to keep track of these and what I've done. And I've now, at this point, today was day, I think, 696 of since I've been counting. Well, I have long lost track of whether I've done some or not. And I'm going through like 100 days in a row. The first like 100 days of this year, I'm doing a proverb, because proverbs are awesome. They've been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. Most of them we've heard of or heard somebody else use at least sometime during our life. Even if you're young, people have been throwing proverbs at you your entire life. And sometimes we know what they mean, sometimes we don't, but there's always a lesson in them. Proverbs, by the way, are not always true. Just because people say it a lot does not make it true. Just because people can repeat a lie. I mean, think of all of the decades or centuries that people believed that the world was flat. Everybody said it. Everybody believed it. Everybody thought it was a fact. Yet, it absolutely positively was not, right? It's absolutely positively was not true. But everybody believed it. Or not everybody. Some people didn't believe it, but the vast majority of the people believed it, and if you told them something else, you were crazy. We're seeing a lot of that going on right now, which is really, really disturbing. So, all the good things must come to an end was our idiom for today. Fun, not fun challenge. Geez, fun challenge was last year, which was perfect, by the way. Every year for this was my 4th year now in a row of doing a 365-day challenge. The first one was do one thing every day that scares you. Then I did do one thing every day that makes you happy. Last year, I did do one fun thing every day, which turned out to be the perfect pandemic challenge for the year. And this year, I'm doing one thing every day that centers you, or centers me, from this little journal book, do one thing every day that centers you. This one's deeper. This one's a little bit more about you and getting to know yourself, and me getting to know myself. Why? Because it's the next evolution, the next step in my journey, my personal journey, my continually improving me process. Supersize your business. Get Up and Go Challenge, February 1st. We're going to start, I think it's Monday, right? Isn't Monday, February 1st? Start the first Get Up and Go Challenge for 2021. And kind of playing with, do I want to change the look and feel of it? Do I want to change the way I presented it? I just started doing it last year. I'd done a challenge or two up to March, but when the pandemic stuff started to explode in April, August, October, June and July. April, June to July, I did a 40-day. So April was 30 days plus. June and July was a 40-day challenge because some entrepreneurs said, hey, see if you can do 40 days, which was easy, right? So I've done 90 and 365 and all different length challenges, but, challenge me to do something and I'm probably going to say yes and do it. Then in August, October, and December, we did 5 30-plus day Get Up and Go challenges last year. Super fun. We cover all the different 7 areas and aspects of your life, and we create what's called the SOAP framework. We use the SOAP framework, which again was perfect for 2020. I hadn't really, I used the process that is the SOAP framework for a lot of my life, probably most of my life, but I never had a way of describing it or naming it, or I never sat down and said, this is the exact process I use whenever I'm faced with a challenge or a change that guarantees I have better results after that challenge or change than when I first experienced the change or the challenge or the setback or the failure or the thing that's causing me to have to respond to it. But last year I was like, SOAP totally fits this 4-step framework or process that I use every single time. And now I've installed that in my subconscious and I just do it automatically. Something happens, I go through the process, and then I react. I don't or respond. I don't automatically react emotionally based on anything that comes my way, except for certain topics of conversation, of course. And I do, just like every other human being. So it's a SOAP framework, and we'll talk about that. We're going to do a couple things. I want to do some different interesting things with it. I do challenges very differently than other people do challenges. I don't do challenges to garner business. I do challenges to give back and share with the world around me. And I do that because I know all the things that I've had to learn and figure out on my own the hard way, most of them the hard way, by screwing stuff up and making mistakes. And if I can help 1 or 2 people, even one person, just to skip over some of the stupid stuff and the mistakes I've made, then I feel it's worthwhile and it's worth doing. But in 2021, I want to do a couple of different things. I want to continue to add value to it. It morphed and changed from the first one to to the 5th one, it changed a lot and added a lot more value. So I believe the 5th one was a lot better than the first one, but I haven't gone back to watch it, so I don't really know. But secret, all of them are available in units on the Get Up and Go Challenge page. So everything I created last year, hundreds of videos about life lessons learned, different topics and things that I figured out along my journey of 60 plus years, maybe 61 in March, and the different businesses and experiences I've had. I've shared those in that group, on that group page, and they're in units, so they're kind of organized. You can search by topic. If you're having a particular challenge with anything, you can just type it in the search bar in the left-hand column of the Facebook group, and you can find it. I'm thinking about, for this challenge, maybe, and I set up a group yesterday on LinkedIn, I'm thinking about maybe doing it in LinkedIn, because I actually have a lot more followers and a lot more fun people that I like to interact with on LinkedIn than I do on Facebook. Facebook has become just this kind of this political mess of nonsense that I just scroll by. And sometimes I don't scroll by like everybody else. I get sucked in, and then it kind of ruins my whole day. If somebody's like mean, and if I have to respond, or if I choose to respond, because I never have to, but sometimes I choose to respond like, wow, why'd you say that? And especially when it gets down to personal attacks, I just am like, what is wrong with us? It's got to stop. So I am spending less and less time there, although I do love the Facebook Live feature because it is so easy and convenient for me to create content and then share it throughout the world. All right, or on my other platforms anyway. If I can help you in any way, if you have any questions about corporate America, your career, being the only woman in a lot of industries for a long time, I learned a lot, and I learned a lot of tricks in terms of what works and what doesn't. And not just tricks and shortcuts, long-term strategies of what sets you up for winning. And those are the things you want to do, not the hacks or the shortcuts or the cheats. If you're looking for just cheats or shortcuts or anything dishonest, I am not your person. I'm definitely not your person. But otherwise, questions about corporate America, questions about quality, sanitation, especially now during COVID, I've got tons of experience creating emergency action plans, quality plans, processes, systems, procedures for all kinds of different industries. So if you're stuck on something, you just have a question, you're like, I don't know who to ask, just ask. And if I don't know, I'll help you find the person that does. Same with online things. Done lots of things online, lots and lots of things online. Some have been epic successes, others have been epic failures, but it's all part of my journey and the learning process. And if I can help you with your journey, I'm more than happy to. Have an amazing day. I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow. Talk about what I'm doing now tomorrow. I'm going to go work on that challenge. Bye. Take care.